And now my trash can is gonna be all smelly. Looks good, right? Oh, Daddy, I'm gonna eat this for you and grow big. Oh man, check it out, y'all. Check it out, check it out. He's so pretty. You can make a meal out of this guy. Alright guys, so I finally made it to my fishing destination. My goal for right now is to cast net, catch some bait for my predator fish in my 125-gallon tank. I'm gonna try to catch a big largemouth bass. I hope it goes well. I'm gonna catch some bait fish that are not tiny but small, where they are just the right size for my peacock bass and for my largemouth bass to eat, because the little minnows that I've been feeding them from Petco and PetSmart are not doing the job. So let's go ahead and get to it. Alright guys, so it looks like I caught one, but he's a little too big to be fed to my predator fish, but he's not too big to be used as live bait. So I'm gonna go ahead, get this guy out of the net. He's so pretty. What's all this nasty stuff on you, boy? All right, so I got my bobber on and I got my fish on and we're ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and cast this bad boy out there. And there we go. Hopefully I get something. Oh man, check it out, y'all. Check it out, check it out. I got all these baby largemouth bass. I was trying to cast net for bait fish and I got one of these. I got a few of these guys. Now it's illegal to keep these guys when they're this little, so I'm gonna definitely toss them back. And it's actually illegal to keep them if you use a cast net, regardless of how big they are. Look at these guys, they're so adorable. Back you go. All right, come on. Relax, relax. Back you go. Alright, buddy. I'm not gonna lip you. Oh, you're fat. You ate something today. Alright, let's try to catch us some real fish, though. Alright guys, so I had to end the fishing trip a little early. I was cast netting. I ended up cast netting a few baby catfish. And as I was trying to get them out of the net, I got poked pretty bad. Not sure if you guys can see that or not, but I'm poked like right there. The thing about catfish is that when they poke you, it's not the initial poke that penetrates your skin that does the most pain. It's the bacteria and the stuff that they have around their fins that poke you that does all the pain. So I got poked about like 2-3 hours ago. I'm still feeling the pain here in my thumb, and my thumb is pretty swollen now. But I had to go home. I had to quickly wash my hands and put some rubbing alcohol on my thumb because it was bleeding pretty bad. And also I read online that that's what's supposed to help, so that's all I can do. But anyway, so I'm over here at this store and I'm gonna be getting some food for my peacock bass, for my other predator fish, because I wasn't able to catch anything, and those little minnows at PetSmart aren't doing it anymore. So let's go. So recently I've been coming here to Cabela's to get live food for my fish, because they sell these shiners that are pretty big and juicy, and they sell 12 of them for the same price that I would pay for about 20 of those small red minnows at PetSmart anyways. And every time I come here, I'm always impressed and amazed by these fish that they have here in their own little gallery. As you can see, they got tanks on tanks on tanks with fish on fish on fish. And just check out that massive bluegill right there, y'all. That is a big slab of bluegill right there. You can make a meal out of this guy, out of this bluegill. And usually you don't do catch and cooks with bluegill. Some people do, but it's preferred to do a catch and cook with something with a little bit more meat on it, like a catfish, maybe a largemouth bass, you know, those types of fish. But that bluegill right there, y'all, that is one mean looking bluegill. I would love to have that guy in my fish tank. It must have taken him a long time to get that big, but there's some other pretty cool stuff in here too. I'll probably spot an even bigger bluegill. Like, look at this fat boy right here. Let's see how big he is compared to my hand. He's about the size of my hand. And then just check out those alligator guards, y'all. These alligator guards, they're huge. They're pretty much living dinosaurs right now. Just look at them, just impressive. You would need some strong lines for these guys right here to be able to land these guys. Those guys have to weigh at least over 100 something pounds. They have to be like 200 pounds at least. That's how big these guys are. Absolutely impressive. And then check out this big old blue catfish. This time they actually look healthy, because the last time I came here I made a video called "Ew, Worms Are Eating This Big Old Blue Catfish." They got a pretty decent amount of views, and last time I came here their gills had like this bunch of red worm looking things, but now it looks like they are doing a lot better. I don't think this is the same type of catfish that I have in my aquarium though, but I could be wrong, but I don't think it is. And then there's another blue cat. Major size difference from that one right there. That one's about twice as big as this one right here. This one just like a baby compared to that one right there. And then we also got some carp, which I need to catch one of these guys. There's a few carp in one of the areas that I fish in, but they're just so hard to catch. You know, I watch a lot of catfish and carp, and that guy Luke, he just makes it look so easy catching these guys, but it's impossible for me. I see him jumping out of the water all the time, but I can never catch him. I guess they just don't like the corn that I buy. I buy the store brand. They must not like the store brand. So next time I buy corn and go fishing for those bad boys, I'm gonna get me some brand name corn. Man, again with the bluegills, big old slab of meat, boy. These guys are about as big as that monster sunfish that I caught. This is the biggest sunfish I've ever caught. Check them out, guys. Sunfish. Check out these white striped bass. Beautiful fish, beautiful fish. Alright guys, so I am back home finally. I got my shiners in here. These are the smallest ones that they have. I spent about $5 and some change for all of these, and these are pretty sizable fish. But one thing that I want to mention is that if you don't acclimate these guys and put them into a big tank right away, they will die on you super fast. These are the second fish after shad that die super easily. I can't emphasize that enough. Like, these guys, they die super fast. So that's why I'm acclimating them right now, and as you can see, they're a little stressed out. So right now we're gonna go ahead, release these guys. Actually, before I do that, I want to show you guys something. So I know a lot of you guys don't like live feeding, but let me show you why I do live feedings, okay? Alright guys, here is some frozen shad. This is the fish that I mentioned earlier that dies like super fast. As soon as you pull them out of the water, they will start dying on you. This is why people catch these guys and they will freeze them, and you would think, okay, why not feed these to your fish? Your fish should like these. Well, let me show you. All right, y'all, so here's my frozen shad. Looks good, right? Looks good for my little fishies. So I'm gonna turn on this water. I'm gonna run it under some warm water just so it's not frozen, because your fish won't eat it if it's frozen. Actually, my fish won't eat it regardless, but you know, I don't want you guys being like, oh, they didn't eat it because it was frozen. Well, alright, so I'm gonna run it under warm water until it's not stiff anymore. Try to get it defrosted. Alright, so I got this thing nice and warm now. Let's go ahead and throw it into the aquarium. Alright, so they're getting excited, right? They're teasing me. They're like, oh, daddy, I'm gonna eat this for you and grow big and get all my nutrients. See, he's getting all crazy. But watch what happens, alright? So I'm gonna put him in. He's watching. Look at him. He's always watching. Watch, watch, watch. Come on. Get over here. You don't want that? It's good. Go for it. You don't want that? See what I mean, guys? Like, this is so frustrating. They won't eat frozen food or anything that's dead. They just want the live stuff. I don't know why. There's shiners in that bag that are like about the same size as that shad that I just threw in there, and they will swallow that thing whole. They'll eat two of those at the same time. So I'm gonna go ahead, take this guy out, and now my trash can is gonna be all smelly. Check them out, y'all. Check them out. Live and healthy. Now we're gonna put a few in some spare tanks, and then we're gonna put a few in the predator tank so they can get eaten, okay? Alright guys, so we're gonna put a few in the molly tank. This is a 20-gallon tank. I need to add some water in here. No, I will not be quarantining these fish. I'm doing this at my own risk. I understand the consequences. You should always quarantine your fish. I will not be quarantining these fish. Alright, so we got one there. I don't want to put too many in one tank, because if you overstock them in one tank, then they will just die. So I think that's about enough in here. Since these guys right here aren't really laying any eggs, I'm gonna go ahead and throw a bunch of them in there. So there we go. Oh no, no, you jumped from my hand. Oh no. In you go. Get a couple more. Oh. Hey, don't mess with that. Don't mess with that. Don't mess with that. No. Now you might be thinking, why don't you just throw them all in here? Well, the reason why I don't want to throw them all in here, these fish, they get full pretty easily. Oh no. They love to eat maybe like 3 or 4 max, and then once they get full, the rest of the fish that are in here, they'll see them as companions or tank mates, and they're like, oh, that's the master's tank mates. He threw them in here for tank mates for us, so we're gonna leave them alone. And then they'll eventually die from stress, because you know, if you're a small fish like that and you're in a tank like that, you'll be stressing out because you'll be thinking that you're gonna get eaten all the time. All right, so I'm putting the rest in now. Just gonna go ahead and just dump the net in here. Alright, there we go. These guys were out of the water for about a minute, so that's why they're like that. And they do die pretty easily. But I think they will be okay in the bellies of my fish. Poor guy. Like, I don't like feeding them live fish, but it's the only thing that they will eat. That's so funny how he's eating them like that. I can still see the face of the fish in that guy's mouth. In that little bass's mouth. And this is what they do. They love to torture the fish first. Like that, head first. And then they just swallow them whole. And it is what it is. Alright guys, so that's the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button. Smash that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. And peace out.